How's it going, YouTube? Coming in today with another video, and today, guys, what the bring to you is going to be pre-sales. Now, pre-sales are one of the most toxic things that I've seen in the community. I really hate these, and we'll talk about why that is. Just the small fact of how sets have been going lately, and just the downward spiral of the value of sets. So you're pre-saling something really high, which is also interesting because, you still want to support your local game stores and what have you, which is fine. You can go and play in their tournaments, buy sleeves, buy singles, but buying some of these sealed products is just such a waste of money. And we'll talk about all that and more in the video. Definitely go and check out my sponsors on Gem, Cloud, Arla, Imperium, Dragonshield, RW, MainPhaze, and Grimoire. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already so we can hit our goal at 30,000. The first thing I want to talk about today is buy the singles. Buy the singles. Buy the singles. Buy the singles. I can't go even harder on this than I want to, just because buying the singles will always save you money. This is something that just absolutely blows my mind, and I'm going to be beating a dead horse today, and you're going to be seeing why, because I'm going to be sounding like a broken record on why I think that you should always buy the singles and stop buying these pre-sales. So the first thing, shout out to my teammate and friend Craig. 96 cents were copies of Iron Thunder when the Mega Pack dropped. $6 they're at now after Solemn Judgment went to 1. This was a hidden stonk just because Iron Thunders were 15s, then it got reprinted, and then it went right back up to $6. So this is a prime example of why you just buy the singles when sets drop, and especially if you wait like a week, a lot of times things can go up, but a lot of times things can just go down. Now, let's hit the Time Wizard real fast and talk about Crossout when it came out. Card was over $100 pre-sale. Card went down to $30 and then shortly after $15. That's insane. I know so many people who bought a playset of Crossout that still own their same playset of Crossout that they paid $300 for because they just can't get rid of them now, because at that point it would be just a complete waste, so they just use their OG copies that they bought for $300. But this would not have happened if we just didn't buy the pre-sale. And things are so easy to pull lately. There's some things that are not, like Mega Packs, those are always a waste of money lately. But the actual sets themselves, it's very, very easy to go ahead and just pull what you need. DPE burned me really bad. I spent $110 in mine pre-sale. Once the set dropped, $75. Easy money all day. It'd be anywhere from 60 to 75, and this was a really easy card to get. It's a really easy card to pull. Now they're like $2, but I know it's been way too long, and Anaconda's not a thing. But at the same point, this card is such a prime example of why you should just wait until the set drops. The only thing I've ever seen in the past years that was like really bad that you should have pre-saled was like Bank Destroyer, right? Dark Destroyer was a crazy card. It was $150 a copy, but we have not really seen anything like that in a very long time. Talking about the cores that we saw, Yummy was like a $230 core to pre-sale. Some people bought their cores for like $280, which is insane. After the set dropped, even right when it was dropping, like people were still doing like the bottom of the barrel pre-sales, it was $100 for a core, which is just insane. This is a prime example as of late as to why pre-sales just don't work. And my other biggest qualm with pre-sales is the fact that you can get a pre-sale price and then they are supposed to ship it the week or at least as soon as the set drops, which means that you're not getting them in time for your tournaments that you're trying to go to, because Konami has this weird fascination of just dropping a set the same weekend as an event, i.e. Lil coming up. They keep doing it. It's really annoying. So people are like, okay, I'm just going to pre-sale these couple cards, and then they get to the event because they're scrambling all morning freaking out that they didn't get their pre-sale because it's not in the mail yet. And if you just pick them up when the actual set drops, a lot of times you can get them quicker, you can get the prices for way lower, and this is just a prime example of that. So, Azunas, they were anywhere from $90 to $100. Now they were $40. The second the set dropped and people stopped really playing too much K9, and even though Vanquishable K9 was the best deck for a little while, it was still a $40 card. It was a $40 card. And this is just, pre-sales are kind of just making you spend a lot, and you're guaranteeing a card that you're going to get anyway, because product is being cracked more now than ever, I feel. there's a lot of product that's just kind of flying off the shelves, and there's a lot of product that's just kind of rotting on the shelves because people are pulling a ton of copies of cards that they thought would be really hard to pull. And that's making the sets just kind of rot on the shelf because there's like one card that's worth like $50 and everything else is worth like 10 cents, right? So it's really not great. And even Holly's too. $60 off rip, and then it went right down to 30, and even plummeting down to like 20, which is crazy. And these are cards that we're like, oh, these are guaranteed going to be like the most expensive. And they weren't. They really weren't. And buying those singles and waiting until pre-sales were over is always going to be your smartest move. Now, I've already seen whispers of dude pre-sales. $50 for the brand new Dracotail. It's not going to stay there. It's not absolutely ever going to stay there. That is just not a thing. I do not see this hitting $50. And if it does for pre-sale, it's going right down to like 25, maybe 30, but definitely not 50. And the other one that's mind-boggling is $100 for Marshmallow. I don't see it. I really don't. This is like a $50 card at least, and maybe like 50 to 60, but like 100. This is going to be Azuna 2.0. I think this card goes down immediately, and it's because it's only for one specific deck, and there's still like 6 or 7, maybe even 8 decks that are viable right now. And it's not going to be just like a tier 0 format. There's other things to play. So if it's not a tier 0 format, like when we actually had tier and Perleranos were like $100, that was understandable because it was like the deck that you had to play, right? And obviously I'm all for cards coming down in price, but that was one time where you could be like, okay, I could see why it's expensive because something in the deck has to be expensive. Just in general, that's how it feels, right? I'm not saying that's how it is. It's just how it feels. And, you know, this is another one of those times where the Yummy deck is not going to be tier 0, so I don't see their support card being $100 a copy. It's going to be a lot lower. Definitely go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section what was your press F in the chat for a purchase that you made on pre-sale that the price just dropped immediately on. I would love to hear all the stories. Definitely go ahead and check out my Twitter, Twitch, Discord, Instagram. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Thank you.